Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling what has to be one of the biggest headaches in professional AV installation.
I think I know where you're going with this. High bandwidth video over long distances.
Exactly. How do you reliably route that full 18 gigabits per second, for uncompressed 4K, 60 hertz 4.4.4 from, say, 8 different sources,
To 8 independent destinations.
all over something as simple as a single CA cable? It's a huge technical ask.
It is, and it requires some pretty specialized engineering. That's where things like HDBaseT and Advanced Color Space Conversion, or CSC, come in. We're going to use the Blustream C88CS Contractor Matrix as our guide to see how it's done.
Okay, so let's unpack the hardware. At its core, it's an 8x8 matrix architecture.
Yep. 8 HDMI inputs that you can independently route to 8 HDBase outputs.
And I notice output 1 has a simultaneous HDMI output, which is pretty handy for a local monitor or for looping.
It is, but HDBaseT is really the foundational tech here. It's what makes that long-distance run possible in the first place.
Because it's bundling not just video and audio.
But also your bidirectional IR control and even power over cable, PC, all of that is through one twisted pair.
But there's always that classic trade-off, isn't there?
Yeah.
Between the video quality and just how far you can push it.
Always. It's a bandwidth reality. So for that maximum quality, that 4K 60 hertz 4.4.4 UHD video, you're looking at a max distance of about 40 meters.
And if you're only sending 1080p.
Then your run extends quite a bit, all the way up to 70 meters.
So to handle that massive HDMI 2.0 18 gigabit per second spec with HDR and HDCP 2.2.
Right, all the modern standards. The C88CS relies on that CSC technology we mentioned.
So what is that doing exactly?
You can think of advanced color space conversion as the engine that makes this work. It intelligently compresses that massive 18 Gbp signal down to a size that HDBaseT can physically carry.
But it's visually lossless, so you're not meant to see any degradation.
That's the goal. It allows that full-fat 4K signal to actually make it through the pipeline.
Okay, that brings me to a very real-world problem. What happens when you have one older display in the mix?
The classic 1080p screen in the kitchen problem.
Right. And usually that would force the entire system to downgrade its resolution to match the weakest link.
It would. And that's the compatibility fix, or the aha moment with this unit. It has intelligent video down conversion built right into the HDBaseT outputs.
So it's fixing that mismatch on the fly.
It is. It can take that 4K 60 hertz 4.4 input and for that older screen automatically convert the signal to 1080p or whatever that display can handle.
And crucially, the other newer 4K displays.
They still get the original maximum 4K UHD resolution, no compromise.
That must save so much time on site eliminating that manual configuration.
It's a huge time saver. And speaking of performance, we should mention it supports all known HDMI audio formats: Dolby True HD, Atmos, DTS HD Master Audio.
So you get the full immersive experience.
Absolutely.
Moving over to the install side, you mentioned POSI power over cable. That sounds like a big convenience.
For any installer listening, you know it is. It means no bulky power bricks or searching for an outlet behind the TVs.
As long as you use a compatible HDBaseT receiver like the recommended RX70CS.
Exactly. And the control options are, well, they're comprehensive. You have your standard front panel buttons, IR, RS-232.
The usual suspects.
Right. But the real highlight is the web interface module. You get TCP/IP control for configuration and switching, which is just incredibly user-friendly. And the whole box is a standard 1U design, so it just slides right into a 19-inch rack.
So to summarize our deep dive, the C88CS is really a high-performance solution that's defined by its 18 gigabit per second support.
By the CSC technology that lets it go the distance over C-Cape cable.
And by that smart down conversion that just solves so many real-world compatibility issues.
It really does tackle the problems at the cutting edge of video distribution. And that leaves me with a final thought for you to think about.
Go on.
When you plan a complex installation like this, mixing those high-end 4K sources with older displays, consider the complexity you're avoiding. Think about manually managing the EDID.
The extended display identification data.
Yeah, that can be a nightmare. Right. How much of that headache just disappears when the system has this kind of intelligence? That advanced EDID management might just be the hidden hero here.